Khabib Nurmagomedov retires after submitting Justin Gaethje early in the second round via triangle choke. During Khabib's Octagon interview, Khabib said he only wants one thing from the UFC, and that's for them to give him the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world ranking. But before we get into the Jon Jones tweets, Dana White said that Khabib had 2 broken toes and a broken bone in his foot before the fight, and he didn't tell anybody.
Apparently, he was in the hospital. He broke his foot. Yeah. So
that?
3 weeks ago. So he has 2 broken toes and a bone in his foot that's broken or something like that. That's what his corner was telling me. And never told anybody, walking around. So, I mean, he is one of the toughest human beings on the planet. And he's the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. And seriously, you have to start putting him up there at GOAT status with, whoever else you think is the GOAT.
Now let's start reading off these tweets in rapid fire succession, since there is quite a bit of them. Khabib just proved why he is the champ. Dang, levels to this stuff. Dang, referee let Gaethje down. He's saying that because the ref didn't see Gaethje tap at first, and Justin Gaethje basically passed out due to triangle choke. Until I take that heavenly crown, I grant you the spot. Enjoy, champ. In regards to Khabib saying he wants the pound for pound ranking, 15 world titles, numbers don't lie. I want to congratulate Khabib for an outstanding career. I know he made his father, along with millions of fans around the world, incredibly proud today. May God continue to bless him on his journey. Definitely a powerful moment, but my logic is definitely not clouded. I'm just going to ask for the heavyweight championship belt and see if they give it to me, since we could just ask for things now. A guy says he wouldn't get it if your last 2 fights would have been as dominant as usual, but he's been finishing guys versus split decisions. Jon Jones replies saying, I've won 15 world titles. He just won his 4th. The fact that this is even a conversation is mind-blowing to me. Someone says, I agree, John. He just recently started fighting the most elite of his division, and you've been through 2 generations of elite contenders. Jon Jones replies saying, I asked why should he just be handed a GOAT status. People tell me I should just let him have this moment. Unfortunately, his moment is associated with my life's work. Someone says, hardcore fans know there isn't a debate. Jon Jones says, there really isn't. I may not have 20 million followers, but my journey continues. The records will keep stacking. Someone else says, huge fan Jones, like seriously, but I think the reason they're giving GOAT status is his level of dominance over literally everyone he has faced, plus his record number and clean background. I think that's why a lot are leaning that way. Jon Jones replied saying, the same company who accused me of possible steroids vindicated me from it. If I just started fighting for titles 4 fights ago, I look like an absolute beast too, but okay, I guess you're only worth your last performance in this game. I got signed by the UFC literally 9 months after my very first MMA practice. Unheard of. A guy says, John bro, go to bed man, it's just a rank. Jon Jones replied saying, I understand, most people have never been number 1 in their community, state, let alone the world. My competitive nature won't allow me to just stand by and see someone ask to be considered the best. I've sacrificed too much blood. Someone says, do you really think you're the greatest ever? Jon Jones says, I mean, if I get outranked by a man with only 3 title defenses, I really don't know what to think anymore. Someone says, it just doesn't add up. Jon Jones says, bro, when you're black in America, so many things don't add up. I'm just calling it how it is. Have to work 4 times harder. A guy said, spitting facts, you're the GOAT. Work the hardest and it shows with 15 title fight wins. Respect Khabib, but there's really no debate. Jon Jones says, when people hang onto the allegation, it completely undermines the vindication. Just don't want to give credit where it's due. Someone says, John, you're 21-0 in the UFC. He's only 13-0. You face stiffer competition. He may be the greatest lightweight, but definitely not greatest overall. Jon Jones says, yet people want me to stay quiet and let him have his moment while I just sit back and watch my hard work get moved down the rankings. It's not too fair to my family or the team of people who have sacrificed to get me this far. A guy says, the problem is Khabib destroys people and finishes them. Jon Jones says, over 50% of my career have been title fights. LeBron James is allowed to win a game by 1 point, but not Jon Jones. Man, I've really spoiled you guys. If we're having a popularity contest, I'll gladly take my L. This stuff has nothing to do with fame or being a good person. I've given my whole adult life to this game. I owe it to myself to speak up. The saddest thing about this situation is that the company is probably going to honor his request and demote me. It will be insulting, but not much of a surprise. I'll just use it as motivation. John Anik says, you make a lot of fair points. There will always be recency bias, but there are plenty of us out there that recognize the value in your multitude of championship wins and title defenses. Your overall resume is very difficult for anyone to compete with. A guy says, still salty. John Joe says, not salty at all. I really do respect Khabib. I honor the type of man he is, but being the best is earned, not given. Unfortunately, 4 title fights ain't it, no matter how much we all like him. Dana White had put this tweet out saying, congrats Khabib, you accomplished everything you set out to do. You are the pound for pound best fighter in the world and you are truly the GOAT of the sport, 29-0. And we're going to go ahead and end this video off with a post that Khabib put out right after the fight saying, when Allah is with you, nobody can break you. Nobody. Thanks, Father, for everything you teach me all my life. May Allah grant you the highest paradise. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys on the next one.